All right, guys. I just wanted to explain to you guys during this pandemic who can come to the Philippines. I myself, I was born in the Philippines, and I came here in the United States when I was a little kid, and then I became a U.S. citizen. So I am a former Filipino. Even this during pandemic, I could still go to the Philippines as a balikbayan. So a balikbayan is a former Filipino that used to be a Filipino and became a U.S. citizen or a Canadian citizen. As long as you were born in the Philippines, you can go back to the Philippines to visit even during pandemic. Okay, so since I am a former Filipino, I am a balikbayan. If I was married to a American citizen, let's say she's a white lady, she's born here in America and I married her. She can go to the Philippines with me because she's married to a former Filipino under the umbrella of BALIKBAYAN program. Okay, that's just an example. So Filipinos who came to America but never became a citizen, let's say like they're like a green card holder, they're like immigrants, they can go back to the Philippines even during this pandemic because they're Filipinos. And if they're married to a foreigner or a white guy, that white guy can go to the Philippines as well. Even their kids can go to the Philippines. The dual citizen, let me explain how that works. Let's say me, I was born in the Philippines. I came to the United States and then I became a U.S. citizen. Now I'm a former Filipino. And then later on in my life, I decided I want to become a Filipino citizen. So for me to become a dual citizen, I have to become a Filipino citizen again. So I'll have a U.S. citizenship and a Filipino citizenship, and that would make me a dual citizen if I chose that route. Now, whoever I'm married to, regardless if they're born in America, they're foreigners, whatever you guys want to call it, they can go to the Philippines with me. And then our children that are born here in America, they can go with me in the Philippines. So those are the examples. And foreigners or non-Filipinos that already have a 9 Alpha visa, 9A visa, or 9 Alpha visa. If they have that already obtained, they can go back to the Philippines. So let me just summarize. So even this pandemic, you can still go home to the Philippines. So if you're a Filipino citizen and you're married to a white guy, for example, and you have kids that are born here in America, they're considered to be foreigners. All of you guys can go to the Philippines and visit. If you're a balikbayan like me, somebody who was born in the Philippines, came to America when they were small kids, and then they become a U.S. citizen, you are now a former Filipino under the balikbayan. You can go to the Philippines along with your foreign wife. For example, if you're married to a foreigner, a non-Filipino, and then your children also, you can bring them to go to the Philippines with you. Then, of course, the dual citizen. The dual citizen, if you were born in the Philippines, and then you came here in America, you became a citizen, and then you decided you want to get a Filipino citizen again. So now you have 2 citizenship, 1 American, 1 Filipino, then you're a dual citizen. You can go back to the Philippines, and if you're married to a foreigner or a non-Filipino, they can go with you, and then your children who are born here in America, they can come with you. And lastly, well, actually not last, the 9 Alpha visa holder that already have that visa, you can even though you're not Filipinos, as long as you have that visa already taken care of, you can go to the Philippines. Now, there's a situation, for example, I'm going to use myself as an example. I was born in the Philippines. I came here when I was a little kid. I became a U.S. citizen. Okay. Now, I am a former Filipino. And then, let's say I have kids born here in America. Can those kids go to the Philippines on their own? Let's say I died already, I passed away. All they have to do is get my birth certificate and then prove to the immigration that they are my kids and I was born in the Philippines. They can go to the Philippines as a balikbayan using my birth certificate. Okay, so maybe you guys are asking or wondering about that. So yeah, your children can go to the Philippines even though they're born here in America. And let's say you passed away, so your children were never born in the Philippines, but because the parents, or at least one parent was born in the Philippines, a former Filipino, they can use that birth certificate so they can go back to the Philippines, even during this pandemic. All right, guys. If you guys like the content, please give me a like, a share, and leave me a comment. And also, I just want you guys to know or understand that I do travel in the Philippines. I stay about almost half a year in the Philippines every year. And I travel back and forth, and I do this like 4 to 6 times a year. So I am talking from experience. So I'm not like those other bloggers where they talk about traveling, but they never travel. So I don't know how they get their information. But the information I give you guys is actually the stuff that I go through, the real experience. And if I haven't experienced it, I'll let you guys know that I just found this information. But most of the stuff, 99% of the stuff I tell you guys is all based on my experience, guys. All right, have a nice day.